Hi. So a few weeks ago, I listened on Audible to one of Janet Lansbury's books. It's called No Bad Kids. And I really wish I shared it like 2 weeks ago because I had way more like takeaways, and I'm definitely going to listen to it again. I totally recommend the book. It's not like your typical book where, hey Kathy, this book is basically like a compilation of kind of like a lot of frequently asked questions, articles she's written for her blog, or emails that she's answered. And at first I thought I wasn't going to like that. But what I actually ended up really liking it because it was all like concrete examples. So it wasn't like a lot of philosophy. It was like, when your kid's doing this, this is what she recommends. Or if your kid does this, this is what she recommends saying. So I actually found it super useful. Hey, Shelby. Like I said, we listened to it in the car on the ride when we went to New Jersey. And Adam, my husband, he listened to it too. And I know I've changed some of what I'm saying, but I've also heard him change some of the language that he's using with Henry. So I would say it's good for like both parents, definitely. And even better if you could like get lucky and listen to it together. Totally recommend it. So her approach, if you don't know her, she's very like whole child, like your child is a whole person and you want to treat them just as you would treat an adult. So she even says like, don't use words with your kid that you wouldn't use, you wouldn't say to an adult. So like, I forget what she says to actually say, but she even says not to use your words because you would never say that to an adult. So maybe like, I forget how she actually phrases it, but that's something that I need to listen to the book again. But anyways, so some things that she said are things that I feel like we know for toddlers, but it's good to like be reminded of them. And a big thing is just remembering that like, she kind of compared them to like mental patients because they're like little bodies, right? And they have huge emotions and they can't always control them. So she kind of said, you have to change your lens of what you're looking at and not expect them to be able to control their emotions all the time. It's okay if they're crying, not to tell them to stop crying, and to say to them, I understand you're upset because blah, 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 or I understand you're frustrated. So kind of naming the emotion, and that helps them. And it also helps them know that you understand they're upset and why they're upset, but, telling them that they can't do something still. So she says one thing too is make sure you tell them what you want them to do and not what you don't want them to do. So instead of saying like, I don't know, don't throw your toys, we're going to play with we're going to make a tower, or that's a horrible example, but basically always tell them what you do want them to do. So if they're eating, we're going to keep our food on our tray instead of telling them not to throw it off their tray. One thing that she said a lot that I actually hear Adam doing is like, I won't let you. So like, you say they're like hitting you or something, which is totally normal and they're trying to get their emotions out, but you can't let them hit you, right? So just saying like, I understand you're frustrated, but I won't let you hit me. Or I, understand you're upset, but I won't let you do that because it's not safe. So those words, I feel like she said a ton in the book, like I won't let you. Something else I wrote down because I knew I was going to forget. Like if they're doing something that you don't want them to do, or like say Henry wants like a third pouch. I have like a 2-pouch rule a day, or else he'd go through all of them. And he's like, on the floor melting down, wants the pouch. I could say like, I know you're upset because you want a pouch, but you already had 2 today. Let's pick a different snack. So that I've noticed really does help like a ton with him. It's not like he stops crying immediately, but it's way less when I communicate to him that I know he's upset, I know why he's upset, but tell him, you still can't have it, but at least he knows that I'm understanding him. Another one, we use this all the time too, is like, if you do this, then this will happen. It sounds so obvious, and we all know this, but like I found after listening to the book, I feel like I say it way better. Like, if you throw the blocks again, I'm going to put them away, and then follow through. If you turn the air conditioner off again, you're gonna have to go play in your room. So just that if you do this, then this will happen. I feel like helps so much, because it's warning him, right? And it also tells him what's going to happen if he does it. And then when I follow through, he knows he can trust what I say, because you will follow through, right? My middle school teaching taught me that you always have to follow through. So those are just a few things like I feel like were huge from the book. Like I said, there's so much, because there's so many like emails of people writing in and her explaining what she would do. So I would definitely recommend it. It's like $10, I think, on Amazon. The Audible was, I think, like $10 too. Yes, the if then is like, and I think I was doing it before, but after listening to the book, I'm like way more cognizant of it. Oh, she also says not to talk in third person, which I found that I was doing. I didn't realize I was doing it until listening to the book. So like saying, mommy's upset because, or mommy's thirsty, saying I'm thirsty, or I'm upset because, I realized I was doing a lot of third person talk, which isn't horrible by any means, but it just goes along with treating them, not saying things to them that you wouldn't say to an adult, which I'm not saying is like the end all, but that's her philosophy. And I will say I really did I don't think there was anything in the book that I was like against or anything. So yeah, I would recommend it. Feel free, if you've read that book or listened to it or any of her books, feel free to share something you got from her, because like I said, I listened 2 weeks ago and I feel like I'm already like forgetting a lot. So yeah, I would love to hear that, and I hope that was a little helpful, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.